praise from some people means more than it does from others. And I think when it comes to basketball, Coach K certainly falls into that category. Obviously, Mike Krzyzewski, legendary Duke coach, also was the coach of Team USA, the United States basketball team on the men's side when they got back and redeemed themselves, right? And got back on their gold medal winning ways. He had a great tenure there. Coach K was on with Colin Cowherd, had some effusive praise for Caitlin Clark, really, talking about, not making the Olympic team for her, talking about her game in general, her WNBA season in general, and then some of the attributes that he admires on the court. Here is what Coach K had to say with Colin.
It's continued to progress, and all of a sudden now it seems this opening for her. And it's like it meshes. And, the cool thing, one of the cool things about her is that she was at Iowa for a career. So she became like a cult hero there.
Yeah.
So it was like an off-Broadway thing, where she was accustomed to the crowds and whatever. And she handles it so well. And she had like about a 10-game adjustment in the WNBA. And now she's going crazy there also. You know what she is? She's genuine. And I think her knowledge, her feel for the game, I think the best thing she does is pass.
Yes. She's a great passer.
She's an amazing passer.
Amazing.
And she sees things. I mean, everyone talks about her shooting and her scoring, and obviously she does that really well. But she makes teammates better. And putting her on a WNBA team where you have, adults, you have you have older players and really talented players, you're going to see her talents even more. And I think you're continuing to see it. And she's going to be one of our great American players. Yeah, I know some people are.
So, Coach K with a lot to say there. I'll put the full interview link in the description below. He went on to go on and state that he sees Clark similar to Kevin Durant, who didn't make that Redeem team. He said they thought about putting KD on the Redeem team. He didn't make it, but then he came out and has dominated for USA internationally since, and been one of the best American players, if not the best American Olympian really ever, if you think about KD's career with Team USA. And then at the end of it, he punctuated by saying she sees things out on the court that other players don't see, which I've said a billion times, right? Like I've said a billion times that her court vision is as good as anyone I've ever seen, male or female. I mean, like you're talking about the likes of LeBron James and Magic Johnson and Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, John Stockton, like legendary passers. That's the category that I put Caitlin Clark in. And it's cool to see Coach K recognize that as well, because this is a man who knows basketball, right? And I like the little part he added too about how Clark has won over her competitors, because that's another point that I've made. I said at the beginning of the season when some of the stuff was rough, she's going to be good. She's tough. She's going to make it through it. And they can't help but respect her now. You can't be a peer and not respect her game, having seen what she went through, having seen the level she's played at, and having shared the floor with her in the All-Star game, where that passing is also on display. And then what he mentioned about the higher level teammates, I think is interesting too, because maybe I'm smart. I don't know. It's another thing I said going into the season, that I thought she might even be better at the pro level than in college, because her teammates are going to be better. And I know there were the moments where they fumbled the ball and there were turnovers and there were the growing pains for her as far as dealing with the traps and how to navigate that sort of stuff too. And that's what he mentioned about the adjustment to the WNBA, which in part came with the fact that they had to play, 11 games in 20 days, the Indiana Fever. So that was a tough thing to deal with for them. But she has gotten through that part. The hardest part is over. And now she's really starting to be recognized. And there's almost no greater basketball authority than Coach K. So it's got to be nice to hear him say that about her or, you know, if you're anybody to hear that said. Meanwhile, the Fever are back at practice, of course. I don't know what they were doing in their their latest video that they shared. Some sort of camp games or something, apparently was the theme of what was going on with the Fever. They shared this to their social media account. I know this isn't related to Coach K, but there's Coach Sides. Not the same. Sorry, guys. I always forget I'm not supposed to say any, have any positivity around Coach Sides. But this is what they did at Fever practice.
We're going to play 4 reps, 4 challenges. All right? Minute to win it. On your mark. Get set. Go.
Yeah, come on. Got to take the music down so I don't get copyright stricken. They're hitting balloons. I don't know what that means. There's that, like, keep it in the air. Was that the game that was going on there? I'm not sure what to make of this. You move the candy from one thing to another. Yeah, straws and candy don't have the same imagery for me. Not that I'm saying anything else. Tissue pull. Okay. I mean, they look happy. I don't know. Like it seems like these are professional athletes. Grown women who are supposed to be practicing and getting better at basketball. So there's a little bit of this that I see and go, they're not kids, but I can't deny the reaction from the players themselves, right? Like, so I'm not gonna be cynical about it. Caitlin doesn't seem to be like the toilet paper wrapping. I'm not sure what the goal of that was either. I'm not sure how that all played out or what the parameters were, but the Fever seem to be having fun. And they do have a long break before they got to go back to play basketball, right? Like, they're back at practice, I think, before anybody else, at least anybody else publicly. Maybe they share things more publicly because of who's on the team, obviously. But, August 16th is their next game. So we're less than 2 weeks away, guys. The Indiana Fever will play basketball in less than 2 weeks, and we'll be getting back to talking about the actual product on the basketball court. But I thought it was worth sharing Coach K talking about Caitlin Clark, simply because, again, when you look at what he did at Duke, when you look at what he did with Team USA, on the probably Mount Rushmore of coaching figures in basketball history, American basketball history. So to hear he called Caitlin Clark genuine. The words that Coach K spoke about Clark really did seem genuine.